city and what people think about the load shedding timetable the Electricity Company of Ghana has presented some weeks back. But it may not be the only challenge the ECG is faced with, because you and I could be a part of the myriad of challenges faced by the company in its bid to improve power supply. We go to the Ashanti region, and the Kumasi Polytechnic alone owes this ECG 3 million Ghana cedis. And it is not, again, it is not the only problem. In the whole of the Ashanti region, 4 out of 10 people do not pay electricity bills. And so in the Ashanti region's bid to meet its revenue target of 7.5 million Ghana cedis, it has decided to recover over 40% of this revenue that is lost in people's homes and business. To do that, it has decided to embark on a mass disconnection exercise in the region. Let's get more on this as I'm joined over the telephone by our Ashanti regional correspondent, Mohammed Nuruddin. Nuruddin, tell us more about this exercise.
Well, according to the ECG, the exercise is necessary because of the high rate of tariff default, which is creeping the company, and so they want to take back on this exercise today to make sure that all defaulters will pay their money to the ECG. And earlier, I spoke to the Public Relations Manager, the Ashanti Region, Erasmus Bedu, and he told me some of them don't even come to them to, have an agreement plan on how they're going to pay their bills. And for that matter, it is necessary for them to make sure these people are cut, their power is cut. Okay. So the exercise has begun today, and all the districts in the Ashanti Region would also embark on the exercise to make sure the ECG will recover their losses during over the past few months.
Do we know how long this exercise is expected to go for?
Well, the ECG are saying that after today they will be talking to us to tell us more about it. And earlier I wanted to find out if we could get some of the companies that will be affected today, except they wouldn't disclose it now because it is very important they keep it now and then disclose it to the media after the exercise. So after today we'll get to know whether they will embark on another exercise or not. But before I go to you go to any other question, I would like to speak on the K policy.
We'll do that in a bit. Just hold the line for me. Public Relations Manager for the Ashanti Region's ECG, Erasmus Bedu, has joined our conversation. Erasmus, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Erasmus, shed some more light on this exercise you intend to carry.
Your question again, please.
I'm asking that you shed some light on the exercise, the mass disconnection exercise that starts today.
Yeah, in actual fact, it's not starting today. We have started already, but we are intensifying it. It's gaining a momentum that is such that if you take us for granted, you'll be at the other side of it. Because we have realized that most of our customers are waiting on us to come upon them before they pay their bill. And usually the excuse they give is that the life is so stable, do so here and there, and so on and so forth. Fine. We agree that we are not in the best of shape. We are in a kind of crisis, and we acknowledge that. But the point is that whatever little you have used, it is only fair that you pay for it so that we can keep the lights on the way we want it. But if, in spite of, they do so, people are not paying the bill, then if we are not careful, the whole system will ground to a halt, and we will not even have the little that we have.
I see.
So the message is that all those that have accumulated debt over a long period of time, we don't have any grace period anymore. And the point is that you have to pay and pay it full.
Which areas are you visiting today?
What we are doing is that in the region, for instance, we have 15 district offices across the region. And every district is involved. And we are all going out to make sure that all those who are owing over a period of time, they either pay in full or we disconnect their supply. So that is what we are in full swing. It is not an event. It's not a one-day activity. It's something that we are undertaking throughout from now until the end of the year. And every day we will intensify it. So today, for instance, the districts are all going out, and we'll go out 3 times in a week, and then we'll use Fridays for monitoring. We'll go out and find out that all those that we've disconnected, they are in the system disconnected.
Which category of consumers do these people fall into?
I mean, they can be found in all the categories.
I see.
We don't have specific areas and saying that this category of customers, maybe they are not owing or they are owing. No. We have in a vertical formula where those that are high up are owing, those that are down up are owing. Not everybody though, but at least those that are owing, will make sure that they pay the bills.
I see. So it will be a mixture of residential properties, commercial properties, even including government institutions.
Exactly so. Okay. All those who are affected, everybody will go under it.
I see. Why are these people not on the prepaid meters?
Well, you know, the prepaid metering is another device for measuring our consumption for customers so that they can pay. We are not at a situation where everybody has prepaid. In fact, that is the ideal situation. If we had our own way, every customer will be metered using the prepaid meters. Gradually, we will get there. In Kumasi, or Ashanti Region for that matter, we are going to roll out a massive prepaid project. We've done all the pilots, particularly in the eastern part, and everything has proved that we can go ahead. So come early December, just before even the year ends, we are going to roll out a massive express. And we have about 68,000 pieces of prepaid meters, and we are going to do that. The western part, we've done a pre-pilot. We are going to extend it to an actual full-blown pilot involving about 2,000 meters. And immediately it proves successful, it will also be rolled out. So plus or minus, we hope that 2015 we'll have a massive prepaid installation in Ashanti region, and that will be very comforting for all of us, both customers and the company.
I want a bit of clarification on this. It looks to me the Ashanti region is a bit late in implementing the prepaid metering system. What was the challenge?
Well, somehow we were part of the prepaid metering system, except that it wasn't massive. We had a first prepaid, we had a second one. Somehow we couldn't sustain it.
Why?
It's all a matter of money issue. We know you need funding. Prepaid,
I see.
It's a new technology. You need the network to be stable and efficient. You need so many things.
But Erasmus, you agree with me that the prepaid metering system has been running for a while now, even to the extent for President Mahama to say that all MMDAs should be put on a prepaid metering system. It means that it was available. The network shouldn't be a problem at all, considering that Accra was able to embark on a major exercise, even putting prepaid meters on trees for outside of people's homes. It shouldn't have been difficult for the Ashanti region to do same.
Well, you know, it's the same company that's doing it. The Accra one was done by ECG. The Kumasi one will be done by ECG. Ashanti region is not an autonomous entity. It is part of the ECG system. I mean, the ECG Global. So things are done in a gradual manner. And as I told you, I mean, connecting every household, or particularly, for example, as we said, the MMDs, the Metropolitan Municipal and District Assemblies, and then government institutions through prepaid metering. It's a lot of exercise. You need to rewire the whole system such that it can take the prepaid and you can meter the person like that. So it's an exercise.
Very well.
You need to do them very well so that at least whilst you do all these things, you can also eliminate illegal connections and so on and so forth. Now, once the Ashanti region was earmarked for a whole prepaid metering system, we needed to take our time and make sure that things are done and done well once and for all. So it's not too late to have the Ashanti Region 1 commence. And as I've told you, all the indicators are positive now. And so we can start and go out and all out. So that's what we're about to do.
So how many households owe the Ashanti Region ECG? Or, how many consumers? Let's put it that way.
I can't give you the total figure offhand, but I know it's quite a lot because each district, we have quite a number of customers that are owing, both in the higher bracket and then the lower bracket as well as the middle belt. And that's why we have to launch this drive. Last week, for instance, when we went through our list, we collected less than 50% of our budgeted or targets given. And that is serious. You know, if you out of the targets that is set for you, you are collecting less than 50%, then obviously it is not the best picture that anybody would want to take. And so all boils down to the fact that we have to collect the bills that we have billed customers. Because when you purchase the bill, when you purchase the power, you need to pay for the power that you have purchased. So that those who are working on the supply side can continue generating the power for those who are transmitting to do so. If you collect the power and you don't account for it, it amounts to a loss. And all these losses are put in the debt.
The truth is, we wouldn't only want to disconnect these persons or businesses that owe the ECG. We want the money as well to improve the services. After you disconnect, what do?
Well, after we have disconnected, that is taking off the power, we'll serve you a notice that if you come forward and pay for the amount that you owe. Now, if after waiting for 1 week you don't show up, this time around we'll take a civil action against you. We'll send you to court. We'll ask the court to intervene, and so we'll take a civil action. If we realize that the court you cannot say that you won't show up, and obviously we'll make sure that we collect the money from there. If your supply will detect that after we disconnected, you have found a way to reconnect yourself, that is an illegal activity. It's a criminal case. So we will involve the police to make sure that we arrest you and prosecute you for that activity. So we are using this two-pronged approach to make sure that people who are owing us this time around take us serious.
Well, you tell me that today's exercise is only the beginning of the intensification of the mass disconnection exercise, which means that, like you have said already, it's already started. It's been in motion for a while now. How much have we collected already? How much has the ECG collected already?
So far, a lot of the actions will show over a period. It won't be instant. As I told you, it is a process. It takes some time before people get to know that we are serious. You know, for example, in the Accra, the K-Poly one that we knocked off last Thursday or Friday.
Very well.
It is now that they are finding a way to come and pay. So immediately you can't quantify, you can't show it physically on paper that this has led to the improvement of the collection. So it is over time that we'll be able to see the actual impact. And when we've done the analysis, then we'll know that we have moved from maybe A to B or A and jump to C. And then maybe instead of 50%, we are going to 70% or 100% or whatever. So it will take some time.
I'm happy you mentioned the K-Poly issue. So this huge sums of money owed you by the Kumasi Polytechnic. It spans over what period?
It starts from January. It's January to October.
2014.
Yes, 2014.
But what is the usual process? Because I'm thinking, waiting 10 months to be paid for electricity supply is a bit too much, because if I waited a month, I wouldn't have power supply in my home. Why should it be different with the Polytechnic?
Well, you see, previously the arrangement was that they were all part of the government bill. So government will put it and then take it off their necks. But somewhere early January 2014, government through the Ministry of Finance wrote to ECG that all the government departments and agencies, including the metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies, were to budget for the electricity consumption thereon. And so government was no more going to foot that bill. And all those groups in that category, with the exception of only a few places like the teaching hospitals, the security installations, and so on, they were exempt. Apart from that, all others should budget for electricity use. And so we had a meeting with them and then explained the position and showed them the letters that we have received. And apparently they had also received the same letters. And therefore, from January, anytime we raise a bill, we send it to them. And we have been sending the bills to them continuously and prompted them always to make sure that they pay the bills. Now, we have realized that we are not getting any responses from them. And the only option for us then is to take them off. And that is why we've taken them off. And we are going to extend that to all others who are affected by that. It's not only K-Poly.
We'll talk about the other institutions that could be towing the K-Poly line. But do they have to take the ECG 10 months to take action?
Well, you see, the wheels of justice grind slowly. And we couldn't have jumped to that conclusion without sufficiently giving them warning notices. Now that we have taking the bull by the horn, I'm sure all others will sit up. Because we have a tall list, and as I told you, it's a gradual process. And once we are not doing it once and for all those who are affected, if they fail to make necessary arrangements for payment or pay upfront, all of them will be taken off. And we'll make sure that we'll take them.
Fantastic. Now let's talk about the repayment. You mentioned that the Kumasi Polytechnic is making arrangements to pay you what's due you. Shed some light on that.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that now that they are off, they will get a power only when they have paid payment. Oh,
it is not that they have come to see you or engage you in any conversation as to how they can pay, even if it's an installment.
Well, I heard that they were saying that it's the Council for Tertiary Education that must pay and so on and so forth.
But the school has officially not had any conversation with the ECG.
As far as I'm concerned, I haven't had any information about their having come for maybe any memorandum of understanding as to how they are going to pay for it, or maybe whether they have given us a full check to cover the payment as we are demanding. And so that is where we will leave it, because until they make full payment,
they are not getting power supply.
Yes, they will not get the power supply, yes.
How many more institutions exist in the Ashanti region like K-Poly?
Well, we have quite a number of them. We have University of Education, Winneba campus here. We have other tertiary institutions. We have TNUST there. We have Kompanochi. There are quite a number of them, including district assemblies, municipal assemblies. We have hotels. We have other big businesses. We have residential customers, and so on and so forth. Well, plenty of them.
Unfortunately, you're unable to put a figure to how much some of these big businesses owe you.
I don't want to trade them now because whichever way you look at it, they are still our customers. So,
but they are running the business down.
Yes,
it is not as though, Erasmus, you occupy a very unique monopolistic situation right now. It is not as though the Kumasi Polytechnic has an option beyond the Electricity Company of Ghana. So it is very fair to put out which figure or which amount they owe you, because they don't have an option and they have to pay because they are running the business down. Do we agree?
Yeah, I do. What I'm trying to say is that we don't want to put a name out there when we have not disconnected them. We want to say that this institution is owing this much. They have not paid. We don't have anything on in terms of agreement or a memorandum of understanding showing clearly how they are going to pay a satisfactory MOU between the two of us, upon which we can hold them to it. So we want to wait till we knock them off, and then can say that yes, we've knocked this place off because they are owing so much and they are not coming.
When do you intend to knock them off?
This is what I'm saying, that we have this whole week from now on until Friday, and I can assure you that the exercise is intense. And we are going all out, all our staff, including the managers and what have you. Everybody is going, and we are making sure that everybody involved, any institution or company or whatever, owing, we collect the money.
But you see, Erasmus, my impatience stems from the fact that as a consumer, a residential consumer at that, because I use prepaid, I don't buy, I don't get power supply either. And these people are on the postpaid metering system. They owe the ECG. They are having power supply, running the business down. And because of that, I can't get frequent, consistent power supply to my home. And so forgive my impatience, but I can't help it. When is the ECG looking into going into these businesses and making sure that they pay? Because for me, from the beginning, from the get-go, we should have that MOU with these huge businesses and government institutions as to how they'll pay. It is not when the ECG is decided to go out there and make sure they pay that these businesses should want to sign an MOU with you. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail right at the head, and you have every legitimate right to draw the conclusion you have done. Apparently, when you are on a prepaid system, the choice is not so much with you because you are ready to buy the power, except that we being the distributors don't have the power for you to use. That ends there, because anytime we have it, then you have the luxury of using the power. Now, in the case of the prepaid, the postpaid metering, theirs is a different thing altogether. They have a lot of luxury, and in fact, they use the power such that they use the power throughout the month, and then it takes us 28 days to read the meter, and then process the bill within 2 weeks, that's 14 days.
You see,
before we deliver the bill.
I guess the point I'm making is those businesses, those institutions do not have an excuse.
Not at all.
I see. Erasmus, we'll leave it here for now. Thank you very much. Erasmus Beidu is PR for the Electricity Company of Ghana office in the Ashanti region. Mohammed Nuruddin is still here with us. We'll talk about the K-Poly situation over the next few minutes. K-Poly has been disconnected because it owes the ECG some 3 million Ghana cedis. I'm not sure how it got to that. Over 10 months of usage, and the school decided not to pay. But you heard from the ECG, it is no longer government business to pay for the school. The school can use its own IGF in doing that. Mohammed. Yeah, so you were going to tell us something about the Kumasi Polytechnic issue. What was that?
Yeah, because of the situation, what happened at the school, academic activities have been disrupted, and students cannot study because they don't have light. The first-year students who have just reported do not also get access to internet to register, because they have to register. They have to register in their various departments, and that can only be done with the internet. And for now, they cannot do that because they don't have light. And the water system has also been, affected. And the ladies are saying that, it is affecting them because they cannot carry their daily activities as ladies.
I see. Nuruddin, we'll leave it here for now. I want to believe in subsequent broadcasts. We'll visit the school at night and bring our viewers what it looks like after the disconnection Thank you very much for your time here. Mohammed Nuruddin is our Ashanti Regional Correspondent. Expect that report in subsequent broadcasts when we bring you what the nighttime situation is in the school now that it's fully disconnected from the national grid because it owes the electricity company of Ghana too much money. But that's not all when it comes to power supply here in the country. For many of us, we were looking forward to the end of October, about 10 days ago, to see an improvement in power supply, power generation first of all, then power supply in the country, because we were told that the Atuabo gas plant was going to come alive. Now we understand that the Energy Commission has flagged some parts of the whole construction, and so we wouldn't see the gas come alive. But when are we going to see the gas come alive? And what does that mean now that we can't have the gas as scheduled? Another postponement, and if you're thinking like me, that'll be the umpteenth time we're having this whole Ghana gas plant commencement, or lack of a better word, being postponed. When I come back, we'll have that conversation. Don't go away.